Welcome to For the Love of Books, That Didn't Happen in the Book, a podcast by Lanarkshire Libraries.
Hello, and welcome back to That Didn't Happen in the Book.
Yay!
Very unenthusiastic, yeah. There.
I'll try it again.
Yeah. No, there's no point now.
Right,
It's,
okay.
It's fake, listeners, it's fake.
I'm an actor.
Yeah. So, yes, welcome back. It is August the 9th, as we're recording this.
Yes.
We have had a lovely summer of maybe one day nice weather to a push.
But this is the
It's
thing.
not been
I just
great.
have to interject here. You say it's been nice.
Yes.
It is too hot for me. Let me
Really?
just throw that out there. I don't like that constant background heat.
Yes.
I hate it when it's raining, but it's hot as well because
Yes.
you're getting soaked,
It
but you're
has
also
been.
sweating.
Yeah.
I was in Glasgow the other day and I was caught in the worst downpour. Thankfully, Hillhead Library was just across the road, so I ran in and sort of dried. Stood there amongst the new fiction books, getting all the rain off my hair.
So you're not a fan. of the
I
weather.
just don't like. I've always preferred sort of putting more on than taking off. Do you know what I mean? Wearing t-shirts and things doesn't suit me. I prefer wearing jackets and stuff, but it's just too hot for that. It's too hot.
With me, I'm Andrew, and with me, as always, is my very special guest. He is the author of.
Happiness is wasted on me. I'd say
And-
to call the pause.
Yep. He is wearing a shirt.
Thank God.
That. Yes, thank God. A shirt that I thought had ladybirds on it, but now I realise has red roses.
I think so.
and skulls.
I bought it because it was a tenner. Okay,
Yes.
that is the God's honest truth.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Here's Mr. Kirkland. Could you say hello?
Hello.
Yeah. So that bit of chat there about the weather
Yes.
might seem like just superfluous rubbish, but in actual fact, it's sort of tied in to what we're talking about this month, which is now I have to be honest. This is a very loose theme that we're on this month, but on holidays,
Yes.
vacations, that type of thing.
Fun in the sun, or in my
Yeah.
case, misery in the heat.
Yes. We are again, because of holidays and things, we're a bit all over the place
Yes.
at the moment. This is literally my only week that I am able to record in between holidays,
Mhm.
and Kirkland is basically on his travels for a month.
Yes.
So we have squeezed in.
This is how much we care about
Yes,
building the
this is
audience.
it. We have squeezed in a sort of, fill in
Yes.
for you. But it won't be entirely rubbish.
No, it's a bonus
It'll
episode.
be great fun.
Mhm.
And we thought, we had a thought about what kind of, we had a thought, is that the word? We had to think.
Well, I mean, I would like to think that I had a thought.
We had to think, we had thought, whatever it is. We had to think about what books and things that we could cover on the topic. Actually, when you look into it, not an awful lot of books made into films that focus on a kind of holiday theme. They may have a travel element in them,
Yes.
but not a lot. I struggled to come up with a lot of viable.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank God for me, because
Yes.
I recently reread Alex Garland's The Beach,
Yes.
and I suggested it.
Yes.
And
And it ties in
Yes.
very well with our theme.
And the other thing as well is I actually love Alex Garland. I will tell anyone, I think he's a genius. Not only did he write The Beach, some of his other books I absolutely adore. And he also wrote and directed Dread, which is my favourite, one of my favourite comic book
I didn't
movies.
know that I knew that.
Well, this is the
I've
thing.
seen it, obviously.
Yes, so Dread, someone else's name is on the credits as director, but apparently, according to Carl Urban and some of the other documents I saw online, they all give the credit to Alex Garland. They say that he basically directed that film, but he also wrote it.
There you go.
Big 2000 AD superfan.
So, yeah. So we're going to have a chat about Alex Garland's The Beach.
Yes.
And the film starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, God, yes.
Which Kirkland is not a fan of. Now, I have to admit, on this subject, I am not. It's not like I'm giving like a half hour on the Poseidon Adventure. I am not.
That's a holiday
Not
we'll
that
remember.
up on. That's a very fair point. It is a quality.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm not that up on the beach. I haven't read the book, fair play. But you have. So
Yes.
give us a
My memory of the
summing
book.
up of the book.
I have a very fond memory of the time that book was released. Not for any personal reasons, because, life sucked. But at the time, literature was really exciting. So picture this, it's the 90s. Britpop is happening.
I don't remember that because obviously I wasn't born.
Yes, I was very young as well. And I was just in primary school.
Yes.
So basically, The Beach happened, it was released, Britpop was going on, bookshops all over Glasgow. You had Borders, you had Otakers, you had Waterstones, of course, you still have Waterstones.
I think there was a few Waterstones.
Yes, and there was lots of HMVs, culture was really exciting, and as young people would say, it was popping. I don't know what that means. And I will never forget, I was passing Borders one day, and on the window display was a giant beach graphic, that iconic cover of water, sand, and an eye with the title and the author name, and everyone was reading it. It was one of those zeitgeist books that everyone had to read, a bit like Trainspotting, which was around the same time, and it was very much of its time. If you tried to publish that book today, you couldn't set it in a current time. It has to be set in the 90s or earlier, because now we've got Google Maps. The idea of someone finding, the idea.
So that's it. So you just dismissed the whole plot of the beach.
Yeah, it's
Bye.
important,
Now
right?
we have Google Maps.
Have Google Maps. You're not going to find a map on someone's dead body that's telling you about an island that no one knows exists, with a community that's away from the mainstream. That's what the plot's about. And he goes and he finds this paradise, only to discover that if you scratch the surface, underneath is something very nasty,
Yes.
very unpleasant.
Rather like working in a library.
Yes, exactly.
Oh no, I jest.
It's like shelving books that you don't want to shelve by authors that you don't rate, Not that anyone has that with my books.
No.
So, yes, that kind of plot point seems so silly in retrospect, but back then it just felt plausible that there could be an island somewhere that you don't know about. The actual book itself, so I reread it fairly recently. I hadn't read it since, when did I last read it? I think the 90s.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a lot of dance music while reading it for some reason, 90s dance. I like to sometimes block
Like
everything.
immerse.
Yes, it's sort of, you can either read in silence or you can block out all noise with music. It's almost like a soundtrack, isn't it? And I just thought, this is brilliant. I can totally see why everyone loved Alex Garland. Some people might say that he never sort of delivered on that zeitgeisty energy again with his books, because none of his other books
Didn't really pop.
Yes, as you would say.
Yeah.
But I think consciously he decided to get away from that. Maybe he just didn't like the idea of being that kind of author. I'm not sure. And he's made some big films since. One of his recent films, Civil War, which is basically like switching on BBC News 24.
I saw that.
Yes.
Quite enjoyed it.
He did that film as well. I think he's absolutely brilliant. What I would love to see, and what I've heard about, is there's going to be another version of The Beach for television. But why can't Alex Garland just make film himself? Because a film was made
Yes.
with Danny Boyle.
Here's the question though. So I have seen the film.
Yes.
I attempted to watch the film again this week and I fell asleep.
Oh dear.
Now maybe I was just tired or maybe I was bored.
No, you were bored.
Well, what can the benefit is out? But there's this idea that some books are essentially unfilmable.
Yes.
Do you think The Beach is one of them? Do you think there was any way to film it that it would have matched up to what people wanted it to be?
Yes. This is my thing. I am by no means an expert in film, but some films, and you may understand what I mean when I say this, if I'm watching a film and something doesn't feel right, and you think, why has he done that? Why have they put this in? Why have they cut that? If I can spot that, someone who doesn't consider himself, I'm very fairly media literate. I did communication and media, PR, college and that stuff, but I'm no expert. But with The Beach film, I just knew that he was doing things wrong. Danny Boyle, who's one of the best filmmakers, Shallow Grave, Trainspotting, that is a pedigree that is very rare to reach. I wonder if there was studio interference. I don't know, but I just felt that film didn't work. So there's characters cut from the film.
Yeah.
I think the main problem, they cut characters, they add qualities that characters have into other characters. Leonardo DiCaprio was so big at the time. If you remember Titanic,
And the thing that struck me when I was watching it the other night was that it's young,
yes,
and I don't think
just like his girlfriends that he dates currently.
allegedly.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to be sued.
No, not really, but just
No.
he dates young models.
Yes, but back in the 90s when he was like everywhere,
Yes.
I think now we're so used to him being Leonardo DiCaprio, famous movie star that's dependable and everything and all that kind of stuff, that it's a shock to see him as a young guy.
See,
Because he looks baby faced.
I've watched Romeo and Juliet sort of semi-regularly. It's one of my favourite, versions of Romeo and Juliet, and the soundtrack was seminal. I mean, at my school, we listened to the Romeo and Juliet CD constantly. So I was aware of him, obviously. Everyone was. We went to see Titanic, me and my family, when I was a kid, and people literally would scream every time he appeared on screen. And then I went out to get some ice cream. When I came back, the Titanic had hit the iceberg, so I missed the best part of the film.
Wow.
But
then you still had like about another hour and a half before the thing sang.
Oh my God. So Leonardo DiCaprio was ubiquitous at that point. And he had the kind of star power where he could say, I want to do this film, and they would give him it. So I read somewhere, you can correct me on this, that Danny Boyle and Ewan McGregor fell out with each other because Ewan McGregor thought he was going
This
to do
does
the
ring a
beach.
bell. I don't know all the ins and outs, but that sounds familiar.
I think he would have done it better than Leonardo. Leonardo DiCaprio's not bad in the film, but my problem with Leonardo DiCaprio, is that I can't watch him in films without thinking that's Leonardo DiCaprio. He's one of those actors whose public profile obliterates any role. There are certain actors, Robert De Niro, God bless him, one of the best actors ever, but now when I watch him, I just see Robert De Niro. And, he's not waiting talking Italian. He's in lots of rubbish films now that I just see Robert De Niro. There are certain performers, and Leonardo's one of those. When I watch The Beach, so a lot of it works. I mean, there's a scene in it where he goes into the jungle to hide, to spy on, the drug runners, and he goes crazy and starts imagining he's in a video game.
Oh, yes.
Like, what the hell was this?
Yes.
He's in the jungle for like a day.
Now, does that not happen in the book?
No, not like that. There is a character who plays a Game Boy, and he's I mean, it just felt it didn't work. I just can't imagine Alex Garland would include that scene, or if he did include it, he would change it and make it more believable. Like he's lost in the jungle, he's starving, it just didn't feel right.
What I did see of it, recently was that it just struck me at how of its time it feels.
Yes.
And I know you say that we could say that about lots of films, but it just like I can't even remember when the film came out now. What, early 2000s?
Yes.
Probably. And it has that feel to it. There's just something about it.
It still feels 90s, even though it's 2000s.
It's very, yeah. And even the voiceover and the quick cutting and
they tried
the way
very hard.
It's it's a total Danny Boyle film.
I mean, it looks beautiful, but I think the problems are more in the script rather than Danny Boyle's direction. I mean, Danny Boyle's so brilliant. Yeah. The other thing as well that we have to remember is Pure Shores by All Saints.
Of course.
Shaznay Lewis, that is the part of that film that everyone remembers. They don't remember the film, they remember Take Me to My Beach. They remember All Saints. The book itself, similar to the film but very different. It's one of those books that you just swept up in. It's so believable even though it isn't really. But, Alex Garland creates an interior world that feels real. And you know what? I imagine back then, not that I've backpacked and gotten away from society and civilization.
I couldn't think of anything worse.
No, I couldn't be without my, my Twinings.
I don't even want to go in a tent.
No, oh
Never
God,
mind.
no.
Why not backpack?
Oh, no. I'll tell you about the worst holiday I ever had. When my mum got divorced back in the very early 90s, we actually had a party. It was my idea. I said, let's have a party, Mum. You're finally free of that maniac. Ha ha ha. So we had a party to celebrate Mum's divorce, and she announced that we were going to go on our holiday. She was going to take all of us on holiday to Spain. So we got in a van and we drove to Spain. It took like an hour and a half.
Drove to Spain?
Well, yes, here's the twist. Because it wasn't Spain, she took us to Saltcoats. And we all thought it was Spain. I thought it was Spain for like years afterwards. And I was like, why did we go to the supermarket in Spain and everyone was speaking English? There's actually a little segment of that in Sadie Call the Police where Sadie's taken on holiday and it turns out it's not Spain. But that really happened to me. You know, that was like my holiday from hell. In the beach, people are going backpacking, they're disappearing, they're taking a year out and going away and enjoying their lives, enjoying their freedom. Think that idea resonates even more now in an age of Wi-Fi, an age of GPS, an age where everything you do is looked on and watched. I like that aspect of it. I think a lot of the people that did it were probably very obnoxious, the kind of people that we would never ever speak to.
I know what you mean, yeah.
Awful people, you know, just going abroad and, you know, in their backpacks with their silly boots and
It's
their
like
stupid
a
hats.
kind of middle class thing to do.
Yes.
You know, or
Tarquin's away on holiday.
Yes, and
Made in Chelsea filming over in Thailand or
and
something.
it's not something that we would have had the money to do. Anyway,
We would never have done it anyway.
we wouldn't have. No, we wouldn't.
You're far more well travelled than I am. I am well travelled in the sense that I've done a lot of book events and I've travelled all over the country, but I've not really stayed in places.
No.
I prefer my home comforts. I like to rush
You're not a
home.
holiday person.
No,
Whereas I can't wait till my next holiday off work.
Yes.
Because
You've booked, like, as you said, 9 shows. You've
Yes, it's
booked, like, how
exciting.
many musicals this time?
I can't remember because I can't remember what they all are. But I think it's mostly musicals. I think I've maybe got 2 plays.
All right, okay.
Maybe. And 7 musicals. So yeah, I think roughly.
We need to go to the theatre at some point. I feel like I'm not been to the theatre in ages. To say to Claire as well,
Yeah.
we should go and see like a play or something like that, you know, not the beach because that's not been made into a play.
No, I think our next one is we should go to the Book of Mormon,
Yes.
which is coming soon. I think that would
Well,
be
there must
something
be an
we would
Agatha
enjoy.
Christie coming at some
There
point. as
is, and that segues into our what we've spoken about before.
Yes.
Because there is a pro tour of Murder on the Orient Express touring.
well. Who's playing Flado?
And it is not one of those ones, I can't remember, but it's not one of the ones like somebody from The Bill, somebody from Soldier. It's like a proper,
Oh, really?
like
Not that we're
upgraded
mocking
version.
actors that were in Soldier.
No, but you know how we used to go and see those Agatha Christie's,
Yes.
and it would be Dennis Lill
Yes.
and the mum out of Not Going Out, and Ben Nealon of Soldier,
Yes,
and
he's
Robert
got 10
Lincoln
from-
from Drop. It was always the same people,
Yes.
right? But no, this is a completely different. Produced by different people. I think it looks as if it'll be quite classy. So it's touring later on in the year. So we should go to
Well,
that.
I went to
It's
see
October.
an Agatha Christie, and then there were none at Cumbernauld Theatre years ago. I would say they chewed the scenery, but the scenery kept falling, so they never got a chance. But it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun,
Yes.
especially when they fired the gun that didn't fire.
Yes.
I was like, well, this is interesting.
We admire people that do amateur theatre, because obviously I am a bit of an amateur theatre person as well.
Oh, you're a good actor, though.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you very much.
You just don't get a chance to act because you've done musicals the last like 10 years. Not that I'm not slagging musicals.
No, but so my acting career started very late, and really started because you said,
Yes.
I think you should go and do. There's an acting group at Garland Theatre. I think you should go and be in it.
Yes.
And I was skeptical,
Mhm.
but I did go, and then it was great.
Yes.
We did.
And the plays were really good.
Yeah.
They had there was a lot of like
sort of
care.
adaptations.
Yes, they
Yeah.
had a lot of, care and consideration into it. Some of the plays got a bit stranger later. I won't go into them.
Yeah.
But you were really always really good. I wish you would sort of start acting again. That would be good.
Yes. And-
Let's get Danny Boyle
And
involved.
then it became a kind of musical thing because the musical theatre group started, and then the Sad Times Communal Theatre obviously changed venues,
Yeah.
and the old acting theatre group
Yeah.
expanded, and now there isn't really a lot of straight acting, like play
Yeah.
groups in this area. And it's, without travelling quite far. So at the moment, I'm sort of on a hiatus.
Hiatus, is what you're going to say.
Anybody out there, would like me to come and be in any of the productions,
Please hire
let me know, because I'm well up for
Do
that.
the panto. It'd be
Yes.
fun.
I'm a good comedic actor.
Yes.
Do you want me to do my sister act, Priest?
Yes.
So I think that's my favourite one. Where so when he's announcing in the church, obviously, and nobody comes, and he says something like, and that is why we say Job, God of easy. Well, welcome to you, the faithful few, the last remaining Christians in the tri-state.
Yes.
And then when he gets all excited, when they actually can sing this time, what is this music? I've never heard this before.
Now, do you want to hear my impression of it? No, I'm not going to do it.
Go on, do your
I
accent.
can't actually do an accent.
I
Actually,
can.
I remember because I
Can
saw
have a
you.
cup of tea?
Can I have a cup of tea, please?
Right, now tell everybody what accent that was in.
American.
Yes, that was American, people. That was American.
Well, obviously it was American. I don't know why you look incredulous.
Say, can I have a cup of tea in a different accent, and then tell us what accent it is.
Do you want a cup of tea?
And what is that?
Irish.
Yes. Now that's so. He's a master of voices.
Yes, I am a
voices.
total acting chameleon.
And explain to people how you get English into your head if you have to do an English accent.
A very wise friend of mine, hello Malcolm if you're listening, a very wise friend of mine said to me years ago, he said when he was down in London no one could understand what he was saying.
Yes.
So he would say into his head.
Now, just to time with that, the first time I went to London on my own and I went into Burger King.
Yes.
And I said, can I have a bacon double cheeseburger? And the assistant said to me, bacon? And I went, bacon double cheeseburger. You want a bacon? What's a bacon?
It's a burger. Bacon.
And it took many attempts and I was mortified.
Well, they didn't understand my accent.
No, so,
I said that. I said, in your head, say the words, my name's David Bowie, before you speak. And then speak in that accent, and you'll naturally speak English.
Yep.
So I would be saying, my name's David Bowie. Can I have a Big Mac, please? You know, like that. And it always worked.
Yep.
They offered me hash browns, and I'd never had hash browns before. I was like, really? They serve that down here?
Yes. And sadly, sadly, they're just horrible potato things. They're not even very exciting.
I think it's that weird kind of Scottish thing where when people say, they don't really say a full English. They do now.
Oh, yeah,
They used to say a fry up. Where I came from, it was, you know, if you got a fry, we're having a fry up, and it would be literally back when I ate red meat and pork. It'd be bacon, sausages, square andlinks, egg, potato scone. We never had beans with it, but now beans is a thing.
And now, like, obviously, we are big fans of this seminal TV show.
Yes, I knew you were going to say it.
Four in a Bed.
Yes, my favourite.
Obviously links into our holiday theme as well.
Why can't we do a podcast in Four in a Bed?
I mean, yes. I mean, I'm all for it. I've noticed that at the Fringe this year, they've done Come Down With Me, the musical.
Really?
Yes. I think Four in a Bed, the musical.
I think
we should patent this and take it to the Fringe.
I would love to see this.
Yes.
Four in a Bed, they have this obsession. For people who haven't watched it, why not? But if you haven't watched it, it's basically four couples, four duos go into each other's B&Bs, bed and breakfast, and they rate it based on the hospitality, based on, you know, did they get a good night's sleep, also the breakfast.
Yes.
And every episode they are obsessed with fry-ups, English breakfast, full English breakfast.
But sometimes in it they'll say, can I have a full Scottish?
Yes.
I've
heard of that.
I've never gone and said, can I have a full Scottish?
The full Welsh.
Yes.
Better that than the full Monty. But it's like all these kinds of things. So they're obsessed with fried breakfast. And I mean, I love a fry-up. I can only eat a vegetarian one now, but I took it.
And you can always tell, and I picked this up from one of my other, obviously, favourite shows, which I have discussed on here before, The Hotel Inspector.
Yes.
Where Alex Pleatsy goes, and every hotel that she goes to for a breakfast, she always says, can I have poached eggs, please? Now, there's a reason that they have poached eggs, because apparently that's how you can tell if it's a decent place, because you might not be able to poach the eggs properly, because it's more difficult than, like, frying a sausage.
I've got a machine that does it for me.
So and if you watch Four in a Bed, sometimes you'll go, can I have my eggs poached, please? And you think, oh, they're trying to be really sneaky.
It's the ones
who just want a bit of toast.
Yes, it's the ones who bring like a UV light to check the bed covers.
Yes.
And they're the ones as well who they have to order the night before and they don't like it. They're like, we don't like that system. What if I change my mind in the morning?
And they don't like whenever they say there's no kitchen. You've got to go to the diner next door. And you get a special discount rate. I'd like to cut. What if I don't want to get dressed? If I go for breakfast? It's hard whether you can do it in the dining room or not. To get dressed.
But the biggest crime is when they say we don't do fried breakfast, we only have continental.
Oh yes.
And it goes down like, you know,
up a gold sink.
Yes, a nuclear bomb in the farm. It's just like they don't like it.
So I am just back from Copenhagen.
Copenhagen.
which was lovely, and I had a lovely time. And my friend Vicky and I stayed in a nice hotel. And we had our breakfast. And on the first morning before we went down, the night before, we were talking about we were going to have, breakfast. What time was breakfast at, and all that kind of thing.
Did you ask for a full English?
Oh no, but we were speculating because we thought, what kind? Because you're in a different country, what kind of breakfast will you get? I remember when we were in Paris, it was just a continental breakfast. It was like breads and cheeses and things like that. There was nothing cooked, which is fine. When in France, eat as the French do and all that stuff.
It's breakfast.
Doesn't matter. But Vicky says the night before, and I feel like I'm mocking her, but she won't hear this. It doesn't matter. So Vicky's like one of my best pals, and she's my travel companion when we go weird places as well. And
if you run the TARDIS, she's visiting.
Yes. So she said, but she sometimes has some funny ways. So she said, "Oh yes, I can't wait for my breakfast in the morning. I'm looking forward to my breakfast." And I said, "What do you think you'll have?" "Well, I have horses for my breakfast." I was like, "Horses? What do you mean horses?"
Like a 3-course meal?
And she went, "Well, I start off and I have fruit. And then I go back and I have bread and cheese.
Oh my lord.
All the bread and cheese. And then I go back and I have a pastry. So I have courses." And I'm like, I'm just going to go and get a bowl of cereal,
yes,
an orange juice, fling some stuff on a plate. I'm not giving it any thought whatsoever.
Some Crunchy Nut cornflakes.
So we went down in the morning, but we were a bit late in going down. Now, Vicky also, to put you in the picture, Vicky's the type of person who would get up at like 5:30 in the morning, and the type of person who would get up at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Or 9 o'clock.
Yes.
To go for breakfast at 10.
Yeah.
And when we were getting ready to go down for breakfast, it was like, I don't know, 9:15 or something. She went, "Where are we going? It's nearly lunchtime." I was like, "It's not nearly lunchtime, it's 9:15.
Yes.
And for normal people, that is not, that's a normal time.
I'll have my breakfast at that time. I'll have my lunch at 12.
Yes. So anyway, we goes down, but because it was near the end of the breakfast, there was a lot of things not there. And she wasn't very enamoured. So she went away and came back and she went, "I'm not having fruit. I don't like any of the fruit." And I was like, "All right, okay." And then
that's me in general.
She brought back the breads and the cheeses, and then she went into a big thing about how she doesn't really like cold meat. And so she wouldn't really have that on the bread. And I was like, "All right, okay." And then she went away to get pastry and come back and said there was no pastries left. That was a very disappointing breakfast for her. But the next day we went down earlier and she had all her courses, so she was very happy.
I have never heard of the like of that in my life. No. You have courses for breakfast.
One time we went to London and she was on one of her crazy diets.
Oh my.
And we had paid like £10 for a Premier Inn breakfast. And she ate, my mum and dad were there at the time, and she went and she had half a Muller light yogurt. And then went, "You should finish that." And my mum went, "She for real? Half a yogurt?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I'm glad I didn't pay for breakfast."
Well, I'm not a stranger to the calorie counting, but I'm not having half a yogurt. I mean,
I can understand why people on Phone a Bed are, they're particular about their breakfast things, but also I think this a lot when I go on holiday.
You don't want to fry up every day.
No, but some people just are hard to please.
Yes.
Now, I think on the whole, when it comes to things like that, hotel would need to be really bad that I wouldn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
The service would need to be really bad in a restaurant for me to not like it.
I'm the kind of person though that I was at a meal a few years ago, I'm going to drop a few names here. It was the Scottish Authors and Illustrators Christmas lunch. Ooh. It was a lot of fun. We went to ZZ's in Edinburgh, and I mean, usually they're 10 out of 10, but they gave me something that was a little bit colder than usual, and I just ate it. I just didn't have the heart to complain. Yeah. I'm just not the kind of person. I think I'm that kind of person. I have a friend that you know as well, Trisha, and I remember we were in a greasy spoon, and she told them that what was it she had? Their macaroni and cheese wasn't up to standard. I'm like, Trish, it's literally, what do you expect? It comes out of the top, they microwave it. It's like the most basic cafe. Oh my lord. She was treating it like it was, calm down with me.
When we were in Copenhagen, and it's an interesting thing, Copenhagen.
Yes.
I wasn't sure. I thought, do we say Copenhagen, but it really should be Copenhagen? Interesting. Not interesting to anybody else, but it was interesting to me. But we got the train into Sweden for the day. We got the train into Malmö, and on the train, when they're saying it in now let me get this right because I kept saying Dutch and it's not Dutch, Danish.
Right.
They would say Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm.
But when the woman on the train was saying it in English, she said Copenhagen.
Ah.
So there you go. Fact fans. There you are. You're right, whatever you say. Anyway, I forget now what I was even going to say about Copenhagen. It was lovely, and there was an interesting story going to come out of that, but it's gone.
Well, talking of holidays, food, books, and things, I think we should go for lunch soon.
Yes.
Let's go for lunch soon.
Let's round up the beach first.
Yes.
So, tell the audience, if there is any audience left after this load of nonsense.
Oh no, this is the most fun I've had today.
Do you think
Definitely.
yeah, okay. Tell the audience why they should read the book and not watch the film. Now, my thing with the film was, like I said, it felt very kind of 90s aesthetic.
Yes.
It had Robert Carlyle.
It's not one of Danny Boyle's best
It had Tilda
films.
Swinton, who I'm not a fan of.
It's
I'm
not
sure
one of
she's
his best
lovely,
films.
but
It's just, I think Leonardo DiCaprio turns it from Alex Garland's book into a Leonardo DiCaprio vehicle.
Do you think, you were talking about maybe that we thought Ewan McGregor maybe thought he was going to get the part.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Leonardo DiCaprio was given to the film by the studio? You know what I mean?
I think he was in a position of power where he could do whatever he wanted.
I
After
think they basically
Titanic,
said, we'll make your film, but you need to have him in it.
he
Could have been an element.
He could have played anyone. If he'd said, I want to do this film, they would just have offered it to him. And I mean, it makes sense. He was the biggest star in the world. Of course you would give, him any film he wanted.
Yeah.
But it then went from being The Beach to Leonardo DiCaprio's The Beach.
Right.
The book itself, I love. I cannot tell you enough how much I enjoyed reading it. I think it is such a good book. Reading it in this weather is perfect as well. As much as I hate the
summer read.
Yes, it's such a good. It's not the summer reading. It's slim and unsubstantial. It's just well written and it's powerful and it's terrifying and it's seductive and it's just wonderful. And yes, please read it if you haven't. I wonder if the library should have it in.
They will.
The library will have a copy of it.
I think there was covers of it for a while with him on it.
Yes.
But I feel I've seen one recently where he's not on it again.
Yes, I've got a paperback edition of that, but I'm going to buy. I like to buy, initial paperback copies. I'm going to buy one of the classic editions with that iconic cover art that I used to see.
So there you go. Recommendation for The Beach. Read the book. Go watch the film.
All the talk of Frabs has made me hungry.
Yes. So we will round up. A couple of quick plugs before we go.
Yes.
Remember, you can contact us. I haven't had a chance to fit anything else in today, but you can contact us on that wasn't in the book at gmail.com if you want to tell us,
give us your reaction.
how amazing we are.
Give us your reaction.
Yeah.
If you want to hire Andrew for a serious drama.
If you want to hire me for a serious drama or a comedy, obviously.
I can do comedy.
I can do comedy.
We want you to serious drama.
Yes. Or, you just want to tell us, what you've been up to, what you've been reading.
Give us suggestions.
Kind of Give us suggestions.
And if there's anything you want to say about Prisoner Cell Block H.
Yes, which we love.
Yes.
Yes. We won't get you to do your impressions. But
one day I will.
One day you will. Yep. You can also go to our website.
Yes.
That didn't happen in the book.com.
Yes.
Where my disaster movie blog is still up. There's also links to all the previous podcasts.
I'll post something soon.
And my next post, which hopefully will be up by the time this comes out, is looking at musicals and musical movies that were based on books, because there were a lot of.
Yes.
But as I say, I have pared it down because nobody needs 1,000 words on Phantom of the Opera. Just a sort of shorter.
Oh, I don't know. I think a few people would enjoy it.
No. So yes. So you can email us. You can check out what we're doing on the website. You can also leave comments on the website if you want to. And hopefully next month we'll have more time to, dive into something else.
Yes, we're going to have something a little bit exciting. I've got an idea. And most of all, please get the books out of your local library, because right now, more than ever, you need to support your local library, especially in light of what happened down in Liverpool this week. Libraries are important. Please use them. And as much as we have fun in this podcast, we are also a library, and we want you to come up and take out books. And we're waiting for you to do so.
Yes.
So please come along.
And also, if you are enjoying what is left of the sun, or you are going abroad to enjoy the sun, then please remember to act responsibly and to wear plenty of sunscreen.
Yeah, well, I actually took a really bad allergic reaction to sunscreen the other day, so
Yes.
Hence the face peel.
Oh, you're fine. You don't look. He doesn't look too much like the Elephant Man.
Yes, I don't look too red like I did the other day. My face was bright. Anyway, enjoy yourselves.
Yes, we're off for lunch. Do we know where we're going?
Could be Cafe Alba, or it could be the Diabetes Den, or whatever it's called,
Okay.
Sugar Hut.
That could be anything. Yes, so we will see you next month, and see you then. Bye.